I know Arctic Dogs is a kid's movie, but Hollywood, you gotta stop taking your A-list actors and treating them like they're idiots. So basically, Arctic Dogs is about a fox who wants to be basically a dog, the 3 dogs in the town of Titusville, they are like the superstars because they're the connection to the outside world. They bring in the mail and everybody loves them. And the fox goes and works for the mail service, the Arctic Blast Delivery Service, I believe it's called. And he gets a job there and he's like excited. And then what is his one job? Oh, go pull that lever. And then the box comes down and it goes to an albatross who then scans it and puts a sticker on it. And then there's PB the polar bear who puts it in a cart or loads it onto or something, I don't know. But this movie, straight from the start, I don't like because it is so pro labor union that it is ridiculous. One person could literally do those 3 jobs with about just as much efficiency, and they are saying to kids, hey look, we have 3 individual jobs here that are being performed by 3 individuals, and they need to have the and the thing is that's the walrus in the movie, Otto von Walrus. He's the one who came up with this system, and he's supposedly like a genius. And I know it's a kids movie. Kids probably won't pick up on that. But if we're gonna treat them like documentaries, because a lot of people nowadays think movies are documentaries, they'll actually look at this movie and go, oh, that's how things should run. That's how, look at all these, like Jeremy Renner, Alec Baldwin, Heidi Klum, all of these great actors support this movie. That means everything in this movie is the best. And that's the wrong mentality to have. But a lot of people have this mentality that every single movie is a documentary and should be taken with 100% seriousness. Just look at The Hunt. One thing I think this movie does really well is point out how they don't have social media in this movie. They might, but they never talk about it. But the 3 dogs, after a few years of doing their job of delivering the mail, they're getting old, they're getting tired of it. But they put on their game face. That's what Duke, I think he's the main one. He's like, yeah, come on guys, we know we're over this, but put on your game face. And that's what exactly social media does. Like, everybody posts on there all their happy and exciting times. You get those random people that will post like really dark and depressing stuff. And it's like, whoa, dude. But yeah, I looked at this as like, hey, look, when you're around other people, when other people see you, you have to be happy. And that's not how it should be, because you should be living your real self. But hey, they were getting paid, so who knows? So you know how in kids' movies, they always have the moment when they have like adult jokes and stuff in there? The walrus, Otto von Walrus, he has built this little spider leg contraption thing so he don't have to walk and stuff. But right where his penis would be, there is a hole. And out of this hole comes an expandable, retractable arm or whatever. And he's like the evil villain. And he's like, ugh, played by John Cleese. Ugh. And then at one point his evil penis comes out and grabs the fox. Jade. Yeah, he's like grabbing her and whipping her around, and I'm like, oh my god, we got another. This is like super Roger Ailes and super Harvey Weinstein moment going on here. But the kids aren't gonna get it, so the adults can laugh like me. So Jade is the girl fox that the main fox, I can't remember his name for some reason. Oh, Swifty. Swifty's love interest in the movie. But by the way, Jeremy Renner and Heidi Klum, for whatever reason, were not good picks to voice these characters. I don't know why. I'm not saying they didn't do a bad or good job. It just didn't feel like it fit right. But this world that they live in, this small little town in the middle of nowhere, there's nobody to talk to. These two have an obvious attraction to each other. Well, she has a super obvious attraction to him. He doesn't see it because he thinks he has to be an Arctic dog to get the girl that he wants. And at one point in this movie, he's just like, so what's the world like? And I'm like, this conversation has never come up ever? Like, she's been gone, she's traveled the world, and she's been back for a while now. And this one thing in movies when they do this, like, they'll start a conversation in one place, and then they cut to another place and the conversation is just now starting. Like in the movie with the Beatles, Yesterday, Jack Malik and the Lily James character in that movie, she goes to him and says, "We have something to talk about." And he goes, "Okay." And then it cuts to like 5 hours later and they're walking on the beach and she goes, "Oh, so what I wanted to talk about to you was," and I'm like, that's not, why? People don't act like this. And on top of this, when Swifty, he goes and makes like an emergency delivery, when that lever isn't being pulled, like the whole world is out of order. Again, like the unions want you to think, oh,
if you don't have a person or an animal there to do this extremely simple job that a machine could easily do, then the world's done.
Now there's one quick little scene with the top dogs, the Arctic dogs in this film, where they're going out, it's nighttime, and they're talking about Swifty and how he's all like, yeah, you know, he wants to be an Arctic dog, or top dog, and they're like talking about whether they should let him do this or not. What do you think? That's a really good question. If somebody obviously shouldn't be doing something because they're just not cut out for it, do you think it's right to stop them, or should you just let them keep living this dream that will possibly never succeed? So of course, you can kind of call it, maybe this ain't a big spoiler, but the Arctic dogs, the top dogs, get put out of commission, so Swifty has to step up, and now he's the delivery guy. And he goes and he delivers. And he delivers everything in the town, and nearby, I presume, because he has one package left to take to Otto von Walrus. And he's taking the package there, but he's pulling it on the sleigh, and it's a small package, it's like tiny. And it's like, why is he pulling this sleigh like all the way out to where this guy lives? And you just carry the box. And there is an old moral point that this movie has that is one of the most important things I took away from this movie, that most kids should take away from this movie. And because kids, you know, their minds and imaginations, they run a little bit wild.
Brother.
They have the point where Swifty is always like coming up with these big stories. And then he comes up with the big story, but it's actually real. Like the walrus is going to explode basically everything, blow up everything with his plan that he wants to do. And his best friend, the PB, the polar bear, doesn't listen to him. He's like, "You're doing this all the time. Calm down. Children, if you watch this movie, I hope you understood that." Everything is wrestling once again. So Otto von Walrus, his initials are OVW, which in pro wrestling, there was a company called Ohio Valley Wrestling, which was run by Jim Cornette. And about halfway through this movie, there's a point where the walrus does a laugh, and it sounds so much like Jim Cornette's laugh. And it only happened that one time. And I'm like, somebody watches wrestling. So there's one spot in this movie where near the end, the good guys are up on this giant iceberg cliff thing, and they're looking down at the bad guys, and one of them makes a sound or something, and then they go, "Oh, turn the spotlight up there," and they're turning the spotlight up there, and I'm just like, duck, 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 and of course the good guys don't duck. And it's like, well, whatever happens to them now, they deserve it. Then they get put in these cages that I'm like, okay, so there's these two otters, I believe they are. It's like two little like beaver looking guys. They're not beavers, they're otters, I don't know. But they're the French ones, the La Resistance. And Swifty and all the other characters are put into this cage. They don't even try to get out of the cage, and I'm almost 100% sure that if one of them would have tried to slip in between the bars, they would have made it. Especially near the door, because there were some bigger spots by the door. And during this whole sequence, Polar Bear, PB, was throwing them up to another cage when it was just as far to throw them to safety, because they're being lowered into this vat of boiling something, and he was throwing them up to this other cage when he could have just went this way and threw them onto safe land. And I'm like, oh, I know it's a kid's movie, but you have A-list actors in this thing. At least give them the courtesy. Okay, I've gone on long enough about Arctic Dogs. It was kind of a fun film. I'm glad I saw it. There were a couple moments in it I enjoyed, but I'm not gonna keep going. I'm sure I've gone on too long. But if you liked my rant, and you would like to see more rants, go ahead and click subscribe. Did you have any problems with Arctic dogs? Did you love it? Did you like it? Did your kids like it? I guess that's the most important thing. I don't have any kids. That would be the most important thing, if the kids liked it or not. But if they did, leave it in the comments below. Let's see what they liked. I appreciate your time, and I'll catch you next movie review.